Hey, what's up guys? Mac here from Easy RGH or Easy Customs, and today we have a bit of a different video. And I get this inquiry asked a lot: how do I RGH my Corona motherboard? Now, Coronas are a whole nother story. They're not something that are just like Trinities, where all you have to do is pop in an ACE chip and then put in some wires. No, there's a bit more of, how should I say? Actually, I don't know how to say it, but there's a lot more that goes to involvement with another chip. I mean, there's only one glitch chip, but there's a post-fix adapter which acts as the post for the C wire or the yellow wire. So that kind of plays in, but again, it's still the same thing and it still works. What are the required things that I'm going to need? Well, this is where I come in. I'm going to tell you what you will all need and how to do it. So it's going to be a long video, but follow along and you should get through it. Okay, let's go. So the first things first is let's hop on eBay. I do not recommend going to Amazon for this. If you go to Amazon, you're going to be very limited on what you guys will need. But first, before we go to Amazon, we're going to search up. Actually, hold on, just to make sure that. 1 second. Okay. Here we go. Okay. Corona. The first things first is we need to identify your sorry. We're going to need to identify your Corona. It's not that hard and it's going to be pretty easy. But I will say this, you need to be professional at soldering. It's not going to be your easy solder job. It's going to be a lot more complicated. But if you know how to solder properly, you will not have any issues. So the first things first is pop open your console and let's go through all the steps, or through all the boards. So look at, you actually need to have your console fully open, nothing but your console opened and these required things to show. So even take off the heatsink. So first things first is look at this chip right here. Number 1, this is your NAND. If you get really close, which I'm going to actually get really close, look for this right here. So this is going to correspond with all this. If you have this type of chip, it's a HYNIX, and it says the KOR. You can kind of look. This is probably going to be the easiest console for you. So if you have that, all you're going to need, and this is where eBay is going to come in, because thanks to eBay, we can buy these things. You're going to need an index, which thanks to Moon River, sadly I can never search this up, because, or you could just buy a JRunner programmer, okay? Buy an index or a JRunner programmer. It's not going to matter, okay? Buy this, buy an index, heck, you could even buy a 360 flasher. Whatever you guys want to do, okay? Whatever you want to do, just figure out which program you want to use. Everybody asks me, oh, should I use the Nandex, the JRunner programmer? Okay, I really don't care, just figure out what you want. Okay. It's going to be the same install, just like it would be on a wonderful Trinity, but just for different points. Now, this is where it gets all crappy, okay? If you have one of these, which looks like a little, looks like a pissed off NAND, like it didn't want to be there, this is actually going to be under your motherboard. But for this, what you're going to need is a wonderful 4GB NAND read and write kit. It's not going to be your standard, it's not going to be your standard NAND, it's not going to be your standard NAND X or anything like that. So you're going to need something that's called a read and write kit. Thanks to Moon River, again, we can actually buy that. Okay. You're gonna need to be very professional at soldering if you're gonna be using something like this. You need to know how to solder. If you've been only soldering for like a week and you're still kind of iffy, keep on soldering, because these points are small as hell, and you're going to have a lot of problems if you just decide, I haven't soldered, let me just use this. No, you can't do that. So as you can see right here, let's see, what are we gonna do? You guys are going to solder it on just like this, just like how he has it. The read and write part, that's gonna be all on you. I'm not gonna teach you how to do that, but I will show you what the steps will kind of be. So you'll solder it like this, you know, and this right here's for the Corona V2. So you're gonna put it right there, you know, solder 1 on the crystal, and then 1, 3, see, 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, and 13. And then there's 2, 4, this is usually the ground, and then we have 14 and 16. That's how you're gonna do it that way. Again, you need to be very good at soldering. If you're not, do not attempt this, or you will rip one of these pads off or screw it up, and then you're just gonna be crying. Not crying, but you'll be really pissed off. Now, if you were a very smart technician, most people aren't, if you were a smart technician or a great solderer, what I would recommend you actually doing is taking some wires and, actually, you wanna know what? We're gonna pull out our famous paint, because in the real world, we like paint. So, we're just gonna, wait, hold on. Let's see here, wait, can we, there we go. There we go, okay. Thank you, Moon River. No copyright here. Now, what you can do is you can actually take some wires and you can solder them onto this, and it will work. That's why we have solder, wires, pads, all of that. You can actually attach wires to these points. Again, you're going to need to be good at soldering, but you can reuse this. Attach wires like this. Okay, I'm going to start running out of room, but you could just attach wires, and then you could solder it to the NAND just through this. And it's, I actually used to do this, but I said, you want to what, screw it, I'm not going to do it. You can do that, and then you'll have to directly solder the wires onto the QSB. As you can see, this right here is the QSB to the motherboard, and you can read the NAND that way. I don't have a problem with it. I've done it before. Just do not rip the pads off. And next, it will also come with a nice SD card that you plug in. You know, here you would take this right here and you plug it into that, or you know, just slip it in, and then you take that wire thingamajiggy, and then it would go from there into that, see where there's a black tab and then there's a white thing soldered onto the board, the PCB, and you could do it that way. And then you're going to need, I think it's an SDHC card, let's see. Yeah, actually, I'll show you the one that I got. USB. This is the one that I usually use. I'll have to find it. Let's see, is this coming out of Compton? Okay, yeah, I know what you're saying, Compton. What the hell? I'm just trying to find the one that I usually use. Okay, stay away from China, okay? I don't get anything from China. And also, don't get one of these Transcend. And the reason why I say that is because it has a write protector. I tried it last time, and it kept on saying write protected. So get one of these. These are going to be your best bet, okay? It's coming out of New Jersey. I don't care where you live. It's going to be your best bet. And that's what you're going to do for that. So that's how you're going to read the NAND. Very simple, if you know how to do it. Now next. Okay, sorry if you hear screaming come downstairs. I'm sorry. Anyway, what is the postfix adapter? If you have the Corona V2, you're going to need a postfix adapter. Again, thanks to Moon River, which we should all thank, he has a postfix adapter in his inventory. This acts as the post, but again, some of them already have post and some do not. How can I tell? Well, if you just kind of scroll, use this guide, okay? Use this guide to figure out which one you have. And it even shows you how to install it. Like, they have helped you so much. Don't ask me on what I should do. It shows you right here. Look, study it. As you can see, you put the pin in there if it has post. How do I know if it has post? It says it right here. Corona V3, 4, 5, and 6 are missing it, but Corona 1V and 2 will have it. And it even shows you, little kitties, on how to put it in. You take it, you just kind of slide it in the GPU. It's like you're injecting it, and then it's going to just splurge all into the GPU that is going to come from the chip. Okay, yeah, that was a bit inappropriate. And also, number 2 is look at this point, and you'll have to bridge these two. So R2C6, RC27, and you will not have to solder that, okay? RT, whatever it's called. I usually do not solder this point right here, if you can kind of see my mouse. I usually just solder these two. You're not even supposed to bridge that one. Solder meaning bridging. Again, you are going to need to be professional at soldering, because I don't want you to break your console. Nobody does. Let's move on. Corona V3 and Corona V3/5. Again, you're going to use your normal JRunner programmer, all that stuff, and then no post out, so you're going to need the postfix adapter, which, hello ladies and gentlemen, right there. Corona 4 and 6, no post out, grab your postfix adapter and use the QSB. If you guys need help with the QSB, just Skype me. I'll be happy to help. My Skype is actually, hold on, let me get it for you. My Skype is Easy RGH Mods, okay, right here. And yeah, I gotta, so Easy RGH Mods, add me if you are doing a console, you have bought the QSB, just Skype me. I'm always here to help, most of the time. So yeah, I've gone over the identification part. Now it's time to figure out how we're actually going to RGH this. So, thanks to Moon River, he has Ace chips. Okay. We got that. So, with these Ace chips, we are going to install them. How are we going to do that? Well, Ace over here, not Ace V4, what the heck am I saying? ACE V3, which on their website they have an install guide. Okay? I'm not sure if they're okay, there we go. Product. And so after you have read the NAND, actually I'm going to pull up my JRunner, okay? So after you have read the NAND, you'll click on Corona 4 gig, you'll plug in your SD card that you have already, okay. Let's slow down. So I'm going to try to demonstrate this as best as possible. Once you've soldered the QSB onto these pads, you'll then take one piece of the ribbon cable, put it into the QSB, and then on the other half there will be this little I would kind of have to say adapter. You'll take the other side, you'll put it in the adapter, and then you'll put it into the SD card or the SD card adapter. And then you'll take your SDHC USB 2.0 thing, the thing that I showed you, you'll plug it into that, then you'll plug it into your computer, you'll read your NAND. You'll go to physical drive, refresh, you'll see it'll kind of have the size megabyte and the letter, you'll hit read, it'll read, make a backup of that NAND, create ECC, write ECC, then you'll write it. Okay, you can Skype me, I have no problem. This is more of a guide, it's not a how-to, just to kind of guide you from here to there. After that, place your chip wherever you like. Mostly I kind of have it facing counterclockwise or clockwise. These pads right here are going to be parallel or sort of similar to what the GPU is, what the Southbridge chip is facing like. So then it has the points right here. You are going to take ground, take the wire. There's going to be at least, I think, 6 wires. 3, 6, yes, 6 wires. You're going to use one of the small wires for the ground, another small one for the 5-volt, solder these. For the E wire, the small, for the F wire, the small. The 2 long wires are going to be for C and D. Again, ACE has also helped you so much. They show you where to solder these, and whichever Corona you have, it even corresponds with Team Executor. So just look, pay attention, and you'll be all set. So then you'll take C, solder it to that point. Whatever version of Corona you have, just look to where, they have pictures. Just follow along. Don't worry about these ACE V1s. Just focus on the ACE V2 and 3s. It's not going to matter if you have a different ACE chip, because more or less they're always going to be, the same. So after that, you solder them to the correct points, boot up the console, you'll have Zell. I'm not going to teach you guys how to program it. I've made plenty of videos on those. You'll type in your CPU key, create the exe build, write the NAND, and then you'll be all set. So thank you guys for watching. This is more of a guide, not more of a how-to. Thank you, and peace out.